Hello and welcome to the Unofficial Video Game Show. My name is Ross Gillespie.
My name's Emma Lewis.
And my name's Tom Knights. Okay, so here we are with Fallout 3. Now...
About 4 hours into Fallout 3.
Right to begin with, I think there's a slight problem in that we've got the inverse...
I did
We're not
that.
in Fallout 3. What are you talking about?
Oh, sorry,
New
what's it
Vegas.
called? Fallout New Vegas. In fact, the studio that developed this, I can't think of their name.
Bethesda made
No.
the game, but
Yeah.
Obsidian got the code.
Who are kind of like... I'm not sure how to put it, like the used car salesman of game studios almost. I mean, they're kind of quite good, but at the same time are known for making sequels to games that other people have made successful. So they did Knights of the Old Republic 2. It is a big game. It probably requires these sort of things because they're very big environments, and there's not, in terms of the actual outside world, there's not a huge amount of load.
You're being
Whoa,
attacked.
am I being shot?
No, you can stood on a mine, I think.
Ah, okay.
So you've just damaged 2 of your limbs.
So I need to go to my menu.
No, don't go to menu, press circle.
The circle, that gets my Pit Boy thing up. So far, Fallout 3. If people haven't played Fallout 3,
Play it first.
play it first, I suppose.
Well, that might be an important point to say that I have not played Fallout 3 and I found these controls quite difficult to get used to.
I don't quite know what I'm doing. If this is
there you go. So in the stats menu, you've got 3 lights at the bottom, and then within each of those 3 lights you've got 5 menus.
Okay.
Now if you go to status and you press square, you can then heal a crippled limb, and every time you've got a crippled limb you either run less fast or you can't shoot as well.
Let's do that to start with. And
so
then...
you press X on the correct limb if you've got a stim pack.
Oh, no,
If you haven't got a stim pack, you'll have to use the doctor's bag. Press circle.
Oh, okay.
And then go to L1 and then press triangle. The doctor's bag repairs all your limbs,
Excellent.
but your health isn't full now. It's still not full, and that dog's going to attack.
That's right. I need a gun.
Press R2. That brings out your gun and also puts you into VATS mode, which allows you to specify limbs and body. And you've got this AP in the bottom right hand corner. Action points, that's how many points you've got to shoot. And the more times you target the same area with R1, the higher your targeting percentage goes. And then press X to accept that, and you'll now shoot that dog in the head 3 times. Only at 39% target.
Okay, well, I seem to hit him.
And it takes time for your AP to regenerate.
Okay, but I can shoot normally, can't I?
Yep, with R1.
Ah! Oh, they're going to attack me. They're not very happy about this.
Nope.
Neither would you be if someone shot you.
You
in the
killed
head.
the dog. Oh, you've been attacked by a
Oh,
dog.
do I stand on another mine?
Nope, that dog hit you. Press R2.
What, it's been exploded? Okay, alright. Okay.
And now shoot the dog at your leisure. That's one thing that I've been told by other people, is that being able to stop, choose your target and shoot. And especially when you're being attacked by something else, you can bring out your Pit Boy, pause the game and heal yourself.
Do you not find that could also be construed as being a wee bit cheap?
Yes, I do.
Because one of the nice things about games where you're having to shoot people is if you miss or you get it wrong, you're dead meat. Whereas here you're getting to just go into this VAT system and you can stay there as long as you like, figuring out what you want to do, and that's not realistic.
No.
It's Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
Where the hell is Las Vegas?
Press circle.
Okay.
And then if you go to data,
Yeah.
and then go to map, world map, now zoom out with the left stick, or the buttons,
Alright.
and then up to the top there's a grid there. New Vegas is in there. New Vegas consists of 3 hotels. I mean, the game's massive. It's difficult to condense it to 15 minutes. There's so many missions to do, so many places to discover. A lot of it is A to B.
Does it seem as big as Fallout 3 in a way? Like the Fallout 3 was super huge. Or is the actual city really big?
The city is not that big, but the map is the same size as the DC ruins in Fallout 3.
Other than, my impressions are, other than...
You mean as the Capital Wasteland?
Yeah.
Oh right, okay.
Other than running around and shooting things and looting them and finding things for other people or fixing them or taking part in conversations that get you little bits of information,
Well,
what
you
do you mean by it's got so much to do?
The big story is the NCR versus the Centurions, Caesar's Palace. And you're just a guy, you're just a delivery boy, but you get caught up in all of that, so you have to decide whether you're going to help them fight or help the powder gangers or help the
Have you
cans.
gone back to the original town of Good Springs?
Yeah, have a look around.
It's the only place that you've discovered.
It's
Yes,
got-
that's where you started.
Everybody's dead.
Yeah, these people I killed.
Why?
Because
they're
they
powder
were people
gangs, they're
coming
bad
to, yeah, they were coming to attack them and I looted them.
Right.
Probably
Right.
where I got my cowboy hat. Do you know what I actually thought about these powder gangers coming to attack? I found it very... it was kind of uninteresting in a way. They looked like they'd been working in a restaurant and decided to take arms because most of them came towards me with cleavers.
Higher
And
pay.
I thought, it was just ridiculous. I thought, I hope it gets a bit better than that. Another point I was making to you earlier, Ross, which you agreed with me bizarrely about, was the radar not being very clear which direction you
Yeah,
should go.
There's a radar. Oh, that's the radar.
There is a
Not
radar,
left.
but the arrows always point
They always
upwards.
point up the way, so if it's behind you, it still points up the way.
That's the robot that pulled you out at the start.
Yeah, he's creepy.
Okay, so what happens at the start? There's this guy and.
Well, basically-
You're
Who
bound
am I?
on
What
the
we
ground. Your arms are tied and you're bound, and you come to and find this real creepy git with a checkered coat has got it in for you because you were delivering something that obviously he wanted or wasn't happy about. It's not very clear.
Yeah.
And he shoots you. He
Aye.
thinks he's killed you, and he's put you
Bodies
in a
you.
grave, and this robot pulled you out.
Oh, right.
So,
So
like,
I've
but
got
that
to
robot
pay for it.
works for Mr. House. And Mr. House is a somebody in New Vegas Strip who's kind of manipulating you. And eventually you get the choice of helping him or destroying him. If you help him, something happens at the end of the game and a big war kicks off. And it's just, there's something about it that's big, but it takes a long time to get there. I mean, you have to have patience to get to the good bits.
I think you've got to have a lot of patience in this game generally. I mean,
Yeah.
more so than even the other games like it because I guess it's big, but it's big and there's not a lot there.
It's empty wasteland.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have to find things like caravans that have been wrecked. You get characters that'll follow you and carry your stuff for you. You'll find super mutants and you'll find super duper hyper mutants like what they call night guards or something, stealth boy addicts. There's lots of going into sewers and finding Air Force bases and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things to find, a lot of different people.
Yeah.
But when you do knock it down, it then tends to be go to place A,
Yeah.
pick up item B, return to place A, give it to person C.
Are you enjoying this, Emma?
No.
Emma's loving it.
The amount of time you spend in a menu it's frustrating.
Really? You spent some time on
I
loading
like-
screens as well?
I like to be able to play. I'm a person who wants to get into a game and just play the game.
Yeah.
And this isn't just playing the game. This is having to think of too much, in my opinion.
But having to think.
No, it's not just having to think. It's having to think too much. It's a game. That's the purpose of it. Why would you want to go through this level of thinking?
That was our review of Fallout New Vegas for the PlayStation 3. Played for us by Tom today. I've played it and completed it, and Emma's played it for about 4 or 5 hours. Now, it should also be pointed out, me and Tom have played Fallout 3 and Emma hasn't.
Yep. I have only played for the 4 hours, and this isn't the type of game I normally go for, but short and sweet, I can say this. I found the gameplay slow, repetitive, clunky, and I felt like I spent my whole life inside a menu rather than actually playing, which frustrated me quite a bit.
All inside a loading screen.
Or inside a loading screen, yeah, inside a loading screen. The graphics, I was playing in, Tom and Ross have advised me, I was playing in third person, so I found the movement of the character very unrealistic, and there was like loading problems with the environment, and it looked really bad to me.
Constantly updating.
It was constantly updating. Yeah. The sound, I thought there was very little sound. There was obviously a gunshot. There was sounds of animals in the wild. The music seemed a bit,
And the music fits if you know where to fit it.
I suppose, but the music seemed a bit kind of like a no-brainer. It was just, it was there. It didn't really add anything. And I found the story, I wasn't really getting an idea of what the story was. I had the impression it would take a long time to get to the end of the story.
Yes.
And as part of the story, you had to listen to a lot of conversation. A lot of the conversation was mindless chit-chat and boring. And I felt bored. That's my ending opinion on the game. I
Can I
felt
speak
bored.
now?
Yeah.
You may speak.
The whole point is that New Vegas is set in, it's in a world where it's 1950s futurism, so it's not true futurism, and it's an RPG, it's not an action game. You do the conversations, and yes, it can take time to talk through everything, but when you do these conversations, it gives you different ways of completing each mission, and there's a whole story with your gameplays, but there's a lot of side quests you get tied into. There's also another big story between the two main factions, which are the NCR and the Legion. And you get caught in this. You're basically a delivery boy who's lost a platinum chip, which is about that size, and your job is to find it. That's all you have. That's all you have to do. But there's so much more you could do. But I can understand that it can be a bit boring. And as far as shooting's concerned, that system's sort of hit and miss. First-person shooter is pretty good. I can understand what Emma's saying, but I played it and I loved it, and I'll go back to it and play it again. And I think a lot of people will, but it's not fast enough for a lot of new gamers, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, it seems very slow. With Fallout 3, I had fairly mixed feelings about it. Part of Fallout 3, I loved the 1950s sort of retro futurism kind of elements. I liked and you know, I love RPGs. I love kind of the post-apocalyptic genre. I don't think it's done enough. However, I felt it was a game that had quite a lot of flaws, and I guess my main gripe about Fallout New Vegas are a lot of those flaws are still present. One of them.
It's a sidestep of Fallout. It's not a sequel. Really.
Yeah, I know it's a sidestep, but
it
still,
keeps all the same things.
It's been a couple of years. You'd have thought they might have changed a bit. There's the whole thing. There's loads of junk loot you always seem to be carrying around. There are loads of different locations, but there's not a whole lot to do within them. And also their vision of the future is a bit too post-apocalyptic. Like it's or it's too straight after the apocalypse. In that it's not. There's no flash and glamour about it. It's all very grey and sort of monotonous and beige and just a bit grimy and gritty sort of feel. And yeah, so and that is the same in Fallout 3 and it's the same here. And I think that the combat elements as well just haven't ever really stood up quite strongly enough. So what mainly we're going for it is quite an exciting world.
Great story.
But good story, if you say so. And I always love games with lots of dialogue, but not enough to fill in the gaps between stuff that you're actually doing, really.
I mean, the action is good eventually when you get the stuff, but it can feel repetitive. I'm going to go first for a change and say that I liked it. I mean, I played it to death and I'll play it again. I just enjoy it. It's a story that I can watch and play. So 2 thumbs up for me.
Great. Emma?
Surprise.
Don't really like this kind of role playing. Played it for 4 hours and it's 4 hours I wish I could get back, so no, not for me.
So even if I force you to play it for another 4 hours?
Never. It's not going to happen.
It only gets good after 5 hours though. Isn't it?
Yeah.
They're down, they're staying down.
Okay.
I expected more. That was kind of how I felt, and I felt robbed.
Well, this is one I would almost want to be a fence sitter on. I mean, I would kind of come back and play a bit of it again, but ultimately, it's not one to grab me. It's going to be thumbs down, I'm afraid.
It's the same but different as Fallout 3. That won't stop you buying it though, will it? I mean, it's only, what, 20, 30 quid? And if you...
Only.
Only.
Anyway, however, what about Skyrim?
Yes, look forward to Skyrim. It's coming out.
I think save your money for Skyrim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Enough for that when we actually get it. Bye bye everybody.
Bye.